The coffee shop was bustling that December morning when Elena walked in. She wore a red dress that hugged her curves, but she kept tugging at the neckline, trying to hide what couldn't be hidden, the thin pink scar running down her chest. A reminder of the surgery that saved her life 2 years ago. At 43, she had learned to live with it, but she never got used to the stares. Marcus stood in line ahead of her, tall and composed in his dark shirt, his salt and pepper hair perfectly styled. He was the kind of man who turned heads, but his eyes held a sadness that spoke of loss. His 12-year-old son, Jake, sat at a corner table watching his father with concern. It had been 3 years since they lost Sarah, and Jake worried his dad had forgotten how to smile. The line moved slowly. Elena ordered her usual latte extra foam. As she reached for her wallet, her hand trembled slightly and coins scattered across the floor. She bent down quickly, embarrassed, as people turned to look. That's when she felt it, the weight of judgment. A woman behind her whispered to her friend, "Did you see that scar? How can she wear something so revealing?" Elena's face burned. She'd heard variations of this before, but it never stopped hurting. Marcus had noticed too. Not the scar at first, but the way Elena's shoulders tensed. The way her confidence seemed to drain away. He knew that posture. He'd seen it in the mirror after Sarah died, when people would look at him with pity. Without thinking, he stepped forward and knelt beside her, helping gather the coins. "These floors are slippery," he said, quietly handing her the change. "I dropped my whole coffee here last week." It was a lie, but a kind one. Elena looked up, and their eyes met. His were warm hazel flecked with gold, and there wasn't an ounce of pity in them. Just kindness. "Thank you," she whispered. "I'm Marcus," he said simply. "Elena." Jake watched from the table. His father was talking to someone. Actually talking. Not just the polite exchanges he perfected, but really engaging. The boy sat up straighter. Marcus gestured to the table where Jake sat. "Would you like to join us? My son and I are terrible company for each other, and we could use a fresh perspective." Elena hesitated. She could feel the woman still watching, still judging. But something in Marcus's smile made her brave. "I'd like that." As they settled at the table, Jake introduced himself with the earnestness only a 12-year-old could muster. "Dad's been lonely," he announced. "Jake," Marcus said, but he was smiling. "It's okay." Elena laughed. Honesty is refreshing. They talked easily. Marcus was an architect designing homes for families. Elena ran a small bookstore specializing in rare first editions. Jake loved science fiction, and Elena promised to set aside some classics for him. An hour passed like minutes. When Elena excused herself to the restroom, the whispering woman approached Marcus. "You seem like a nice man," she said with false sweetness. "I just thought you should know that woman is quite a scar, and well, people talk, and you have a son to think about." Marcus stood slowly. His jaw tightened. "That scar you mentioned," he said, his voice steady but cold, "tells me she's a survivor, and survivors are the bravest people I know." He paused, letting his words sink in. "My wife died of cancer 3 years ago, and if she had survived, if she had come home to us with 1,000 scars, I would have thanked God every single day." The woman's face went pale. "I don't think people talk," Marcus continued. "I think you talk, and there's a difference." Jake beamed at his father with pride. When Elena returned, she sensed something had shifted. "Everything okay?" she asked. Marcus smiled, that genuine smile Jake hadn't seen in years. "Everything's perfect." Over the next few weeks, they met regularly at the coffee shop. Marcus learned that Elena's scar came from open-heart surgery, a faulty valve that nearly killed her. "I used to hide it," she admitted one afternoon, wore high neckline scarves, anything to cover it, but then I realized I was hiding my survival, hiding the fact that I fought and won. "It's beautiful," Marcus said. Elena laughed. "It's a scar, Marcus." "No," he said seriously. "It's proof that you're here, and that's beautiful." Jake watched his father fall in love. It was gradual, like spring arriving. First the smiles and the laughter, then the way Marcus's whole face lit up when Elena walked in. For Christmas, Marcus invited Elena to their home. It was modest but warm, filled with photos of Sarah. Elena didn't feel threatened by the memory. "She was lovely," Elena said, looking at a family photo. "She was," Marcus agreed. "And she would have liked you." Jake nodded. "Mom always said Dad needed someone who could match his stubbornness." They laughed together. That evening, as snow fell outside, Marcus took Elena's hand. "I spent 3 years thinking my chance of happiness died with Sarah," he said, "but you've shown me that life offers second chapters." "I spent 2 years thinking the scar made me unlovable," Elena replied, touching her chest, "but you've shown me it's just part of my story." They kissed gently while Jake pretended not to watch from the kitchen. 6 months later, at that same coffee shop, Marcus got down on one knee. Elena cried. Jake cried. Even the barista cried. The whispering woman was there too. She saw everything. For once, she said nothing. As Elena looked at the ring, then at Marcus, and at Jake, she realized something profound. The right person doesn't see your scars as flaws. They see them as chapters in the story that led you to them. Marcus stood and held her close. "So, what do you say?" he whispered. Elena laughed through her tears. "I say our best chapter is just beginning." And it was. In the comments below, tell me from which country you are watching my video. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales of unexpected love and second chances. And leave a comment telling us about a moment when someone's kindness changed your perspective.